Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Scott Sports 101. I'm Scott Trella. I know I have not been on the air for about a week, and let me explain why. My computer had some issues, and I've been in the shop getting some diagnostic testing done, so I do apologize for that, and so I'm back on the air now, and so we're going to do a recap of the weekend sports on this edition, and we'll talk about the AFC and NFC championship games that are coming up tomorrow. We'll talk about the Browns, talk about the Cavs, Buckeye men's basketball team. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. Which player was named MVP of Super Bowl IV? I'll have the answer later in the broadcast. Well, the AFC and NFC championship games are set. The LA Rams and the New Orleans Saints will square off in the NFC Championship game at Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. This is one game I am excited to see, as the Rams and the Saints, as are the Rams and the Saints fans. Excuse me. I feel the Saints have the edge in this week's game, with the Saints being 3.5-point favorites. Now, I feel the Rams will give the Saints a good run, but I feel the Saints will not be able to get past the Rams will not be able to get past the Saints. Now, the Saints are looking to extend their home playoff record to 7-0 under head coach Sean Payton, but the Rams are looking to get back to the Super Bowl for the first time since 2001. And as you know, Drew Brees will be the starting quarterback. And you know what Drew Brees is like. He is tough when it comes to playoff games. So, kickoff is at 3:05 on Fox. So we'll see what happens on game day tomorrow. In the AFC champion, the Kansas City Chiefs and the New England Patriots will square off in the AFC championship game at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. This is the first time that the Chiefs will host the AFC Championship game. And I feel this is going to be a good game between the Chiefs and Patriots. I feel the Chiefs have the edge in this game, with the Chiefs being 3-point favorites to win the AFC Championship game. But don't count the Pats out by any means, because they have a secret, because they say they've got a secret weapon to stop Tyreek Hill and Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes II. The Chiefs made a notable move. The Chiefs waived Ron Parker, who had been battling several injuries. That includes a recent knee injury, and I feel the Chiefs made a good move going into this Sunday's AFC Championship game. The Chiefs could brutally. The Chiefs are expecting another Arctic blast. The Chiefs game could be affected by brutally cold temps again this weekend, and another Arctic blast as well. The National Weather Service is projecting an Arctic blast to settle over Kansas City for the game between the Chiefs and the Patriots. By kickoff time, temps could range from 10 degrees to well below zero, potentially making it the coldest game in Arrowhead Stadium history. And Patriots QB Tom Brady has played in many games where temps have been frigid. No doubt about that. Kickoff of the AFC Championship between the Chiefs and Pats is at 6:40 p.m. And that should be on not Fox, but CBS. On CBS. So tune into that tomorrow. We'll see what happens on game day in the AFC Championship game. And I will have NFC and AFC Championship pregame and postgame show tomorrow. Before the game, and after the game, have the postgame show, and I'll recap them all, and I'll let you know the presentation of the Lamar Hunt Trophy, who won that, which team won and got the trophy, and the NFC Trophy as well, and then I'll let you know which teams are in the Super Bowl after the AFC Championship, during the AFC Championship postgame show, and in 2 weeks, on February 3rd, Super Bowl Sunday. Tune in for I will have a very special extended edition of Scott Sports 101, and that will be entitled Super Bowl 101. And we will preview the game. We'll go over the analysis. And we'll have some great moments in Super Bowl history. We'll relive those, and we'll focus on both quarterbacks and whichever teams are in it. And I am going for this one, the Kansas City Chiefs and the New Orleans Saints. We'll see what happens. But we'll do some great highlights in Super Bowl history as well. Well, moments and highlights. And we'll also preview, and we'll just preview the Super Bowl halftime show as well, which is we'll let you know about that. And a whole lot more. This is going to be a great extended version of Scott Sports 101, leading up to kickoff of Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta, which will be at 6:30 on February 3rd, on Sunday, February 3rd. So stay tuned for that. Look forward to that. The Browns have hired, you may have heard the Browns hired, a couple of weeks ago you heard that the Browns had hired head coach, Freddie Kitchens as their new head coach. Now, the Browns have hired Kyle Corman as their new offensive coordinator, and they've hired Steve Wilks as the new defensive coordinator. And the New York Jets, as you may have heard, have hired Greg Williams as their new defensive coordinator. And I hope the Jets appreciate him as much as we did, and I wish Greg Williams the very best as the new defensive coordinator of the New York Jets. Browns head coach Freddie Kitchens has hired and added 7 assistants to his coaching staff. We'll get to that in just a moment, but first, it is now time for the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. Which Super Bowl player was named MVP of Super Bowl IV? If you said Len Dawson, you are correct. Len Dawson became the 4th consecutive winning quarterback to be named Super Bowl MVP. He completed 12 of 17 passes for 142 yards and 1 touchdown with 1 interception. And I'll have another trivia question on my next broadcast, which will be tomorrow. And it will hopefully be either an NFC or AFC championship trivia question. So stay tuned for that. Now, I just indicated just a moment ago that the Browns head coach Freddie Kitchens has hired and added 7 assistants to his coaching staff. One of them being Tosh Lapole as the new defensive line assistant. Lapole spent 5 seasons working under Nick Saban with the Alabama Clemson Tide, who recently lost to the Clemson Tigers in the national championship game. And I think that was a good move. Kitchens has also hired Chris Jones as senior defensive assistant, and Chris Jones worked with Alabama in '97. He was a defensive graduate coach when Freddie Kitchens was a senior quarterback, and quarterback, and and he has coached in the CFL since 2001. Kitchens also hired, Joe Witt, Kitchens also hired as a passing game coordinator / secondary coach. Al Holcomb as a running game coordinator / linebackers coach. Holcomb spent the past 6 seasons in Arizona working with the new Browns defensive coordinator Steve Wilks, who was fired after 1 season as Cardinals head coach. He also had John Lilly as tight ends assistant, John Perella, assistant defensive line coach, and Jeff Blasco, assistant defensive line coach as well. Kitchens also is keeping Adam Henry, wide receivers coach, and Dwayne Walker, defensive backs coach from the previous staff. And Kitchens is also adding former Alabama quarterback Jody Wright as special assistant to the head coach. And actually, there's Kitchens scribbles to his coach and has added, says how he feels his coaching staff is shaping up. He feels it's shaping up really well, as do I. I feel it's shaping up really great, and I feel that we are going to make the playoffs as of next year, and I think we could be in a few years in that Super Bowl very soon. And they are 1 in 38 favored to win the Super Bowl. Call me crazy, but that's what I've heard. And so we'll have more Browns news as it becomes available. The Cavs are wrapping up their 6-game road trip on the road trip in Denver by taking on the Denver Nuggets. And right now the Cavs are trailing the Nuggets 87 to 62, in the third quarter with 5:50 remaining. The Cavs haven't had the lead yet in this game, and I'll let you know the final score tomorrow on the pregame show of the NFC Championship game. I will let you know. And after losing to Maryland yesterday, 75 to 61, the Ohio State Buckeyes men's basketball team will try to bounce back and get back on the winning track as they will take on the Purdue Boilermakers at Value City Arena in Columbus. And tip-off is Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Big Ten Network. Well, for my final thoughts, I originally just told you my picks for tomorrow. I'm going with New Orleans to win the NFC Championship game, and the Kansas City Chiefs to win the AFC Championship game. And I will reiterate those tomorrow on the NFC Championship pregame show. And so I just feel that this is going to be 2 great games. But I feel my pick, I'm going with New Orleans for the NFC Championship title and the Kansas City Chiefs to win the AFC Championship title. So I feel it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs and the New Orleans Saints in Super Bowl 53. But we got to wait and see what happens on game day, which is tomorrow. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for this edition of Scott Sports 101. And once again, I do apologize for not having been on the air for the past week with my computer issues, so I was glad to be back on the air tonight, and I'll be back with you tomorrow for the NFC Championship game before the NFC Championship game at 3:05, and once that's concluded, I'll have the post-game show, and we'll preview the NFC Championship game as well as the AFC Championship game as well on that, and then we'll recap the NFC Championship game, and we'll preview the AFC Championship game on the post-game show, pregame show tomorrow. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day, in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.